Living Young Country Girl here, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys today the good and the beautiful history. Okay, so this is just going to be a little bit of a review and a flip through, and I will show an actual lesson later on, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of these videos. But this is just going to kind of be a review and a little bit of a flip through, so let's get to it. Okay, so if you have been following my channel, you know that we have switched up our school year a lot. At the end of last semester, we decided to just change our curriculum. And yes, that's kind of a big waste of money, and it's not always the best choice and option, but at the same time, I felt like, why go another 4 or 5 months on a curriculum that I don't feel like my kids are absorbing? It would just be a waste of time, and I feel like we would be behind even more. So I figured cut our losses and let's go for it. So we ordered the language arts, the handwriting for both of my kids, the language arts for both of my kids, and the history in 2 different science units, the space and the anthropods. So I have done a review on all of those except for the anthropods. I'm still working on that one. I haven't gotten that one recorded yet. But if you're interested in any of those, you can go ahead and check out my homeschool curriculum playlist. I will put it in the description box. And if I remember, I'll put a little tag up here. But I love this curriculum. I am so excited about it. We have been using it since about January with my son almost all the way, and then my daughter joined in about a month later, and it's just been amazing, you guys. Just absolutely amazing to see the progress and what's sticking. My daughter the other day, after we were done with school, wanted to keep playing this game. Like, she had so much fun learning, and I was excited. I'm so excited. I love history. History is one of my favorite subjects. So for me to be able to find something that they, are enjoying with me was super exciting, because I tried different curriculums and they were never as excited. And half the time, like our language arts or a science, I go off on a tangent about history and they're like, Mom, this is language arts, not history. And I'm just like, oh, but I just want to share with you guys. I love history. So anyways, that being said, to find a curriculum that they're excited about made me super excited, and I'm learning more too. So we started out, so you have your main history book, and this is going to be your actual course book for year 1. I believe there's 3 years, so you kind of rotate through it and then you start again. And what happens is, as you start again, your kids are probably going to be at the next level, so they'll get new work to do. Because what happens, you get a PDF, and this, I bought all the printed. I didn't buy any of the PDF for the actual books because it's cheaper for me to buy it ready printed than print it myself. We don't have a good quality printer, and if we go to pay to get it done, it's more expensive than just having them do it. But what you do is, there is an actual PDF file that you will actually download and print yourself. And this is just black and white, so it's not super expensive. And this is the whole year, like the whole book for my 1st through 3rd graders. So you can see that, like, it's a 3-year course. So if they start in 1st grade, by 3rd grade, they, are going to have gone through this, the 1st through 3rd grade, year 1, 2, and 3, and then they switch up into the more advanced one. So it really works out great for my daughter, because we're starting later on. She will never have gotten these initial ones, but she'll be fine. It'll still work. You don't have to start from the beginning. So this is for my son, because he is kind of in a 2nd, 1st grade combo. And then you just print them out, and these go along with the lesson. So like this was for history year 1, and I just realized I have them upside down, not upside down. That's funny. And then here it's like lesson 3, and it kind of goes through what he needs to do. He's going to do some copy work, and then color a picture. A lot of his are more coloring pictures. So this is for lesson 4. It has the little, what it goes to, so lesson 5, so they're going to talk about Egyptian hieroglyphics. So it's going to go through, and he has all of his. Like, again, like I said, for him, there's a little more simple, because you're expecting a 1st through 3rd grader. Well, then for my daughter, now she has the 4th through 6th grade. Now this actually goes up too. Then there's, I believe, a 7th through 9th, and then like 11 through 12. I'm not sure, 10 through 12 or something like that. So it's broke up into different grades. So you select which grade you're teaching, and then that you print out what they need. So we do the same lesson in our book, and then we go through and we do these individually. So while we were doing it, their first one was pretty much the same. She had a lot more copy work in cursive. His was print. So it's just brought up a level. And then, in this one, instead of coloring a picture, having a picture for them to color, they want her to draw a picture herself. And here again, she's going to write the verse, but it's in cursive. So she has a lot more difficulty ones. Here they have an actual picture for her and stuff. But, it's a lot more work as well as some drawing. And again, this is going to go in, like, this is lesson 4. She has to write a story reference and then, you know, do a picture kind of like as you're finishing. So what's nice is you can give them these to do while you're reading what you need to read out of this book. Now, on certain lessons, and most of the lessons, they actually have a video recording that goes along that they read to you. Now, we do history on Sunday because we actually don't, we do school on Saturday and Sunday. We take Monday, Tuesday off because of my husband's work schedule. So on Sunday, because we go to church in the morning and we do school in the afternoon, they actually listen to that recording while they're doing their handwriting. On other days, we actually, I actually read and do devotions while they're doing the handwriting, but because they already went to Sunday school, I don't feel like we needed to come home and do more. So they listen to the recording while they're doing their handwriting, and sometimes we'll dive right into history. Other times we wait and do it at the end of the school day, just kind of depending how you want to do it. But it's really nice because then when we come to the part where I have to read through, like, let's say lesson 4 we were showing you, it will, let's see, lesson, I'm trying to find, oh, I passed it, 4. So here will be like what I need to read. So it will go through and it will tell me, you know, extra items. If you want, you can do Egyptian style food to taste, pomegranates, melons, raisins, figs, or apricots. So if you want to do that, you can, but you don't have to. And then it says, have your children work on memorization for 5 minutes, which there's a part in the book where it shows you different things that you can memorize. I wrote ours on our chalkboard. We haven't really been working on that so much. We do a lot of other memorization with Bible verses and stuff, so it's not always most important. I think I had to memorize a couple of them when I was in school, and I don't remember them, honestly, so I don't know. For me, it's not like a big crucial thing. Hey, shh, no pups. Trying to record all these dogs makes it hard. Hey, no babies, no. All right, hold on. Sorry about that. Something is making them bark. So we'll go through, we don't necessarily, like I said, do the memorization. So here it talks, it says, play your recording from the lesson or read the script. So if you don't want to do the download recording, you can read it. And then it kind of gives you like ideas, extra items. You could eat the food while you're listening to the recording or whatever. And then it goes through discussing questions that you're going to have with your children that kind of go along with that recording. So that's why sometimes it's a good idea to do it immediately because it's fresh on their mind. But either way, like I said, it's not a big deal. And then you have a map activity for this one. And then you're going to explore the map and you're going to read and look at different questions. You ask them a question and then you kind of talk about it. So it's super simple. There's no prep work really required. I mean, if you wanted to do the food, but I mean, I think everybody pretty much has raisins in their home. So even if that's the only thing, you know, and then it says have them complete their level 4 assignment in their book. So because this one is having you interact with the map for the lesson versus reading, then they're going to do their book work at the end. Okay. And then it says the unit 1 read aloud. So now this is where I got a little bit confused because I'm like, what's our read aloud? Like I didn't really understand. And I don't know if they, I think what they mean is by this book. So this is their storybook that goes in it. And it's an amazing book full of great stories, great pictures, so well written. Maybe I shouldn't be teaching my kids. So it goes through. And what I love about this too is it is a Christian-based history lesson. So it kind of goes through and talks about what was happening in the world and then what was happening in the Bible at that same time, like significance-wise. So it's really cool. So you're going to go through and you're going to read one of your stories. So I like to kind of sometimes do this while our kids are working on their book. I'll do the read aloud story. I bought the extra books that came with it. So these were the books, the books pack that they suggested. The Door in the Wall and Nori Ryan's Song, The Golden Goblet, American Twins of Revolution. So those are the books, so you can read these as well. So for us, when we have like family reading time, this is kind of what we're going to do. We read these books. We have started on The Golden Goblet, and so far they're enjoying it. We haven't gotten that far into it. I think we're only in like 1 chapter, but it's very interesting. But it's kind of a big read. If you have older kids, this would be great for them to be able to read on their own. But because my kids are a little bit younger, I read this to them in our like morning reading time or a bedtime reading time. And then we do the other books. They have their own books that they pick for their free reading. So that's how you go ahead and do a lesson. That's kind of an idea breakdown of what it entitles. And then you have your board game, which this is, again, what I said. My son wasn't that into it, but partly because he didn't know any of the answers. So he got bored really quick. And the more you play it, the more you learn. I didn't know a lot of the answers. I was like, oh, I have an idea, but I'm not positive. And, you know, I knew parts of it. So what it is I'm trying to open it. So you have a board game here with these board pieces, and then you have these cards. And the cards relate to different subjects, topics. And then what you do is on the back, they have a spot where you're going to read the question. And then you have to, the person that you're asking has to fill in the red words. And then if they get it, they move ahead. And then each card is worth a different point values on how hard they are. So it's a lot of fun. And like I said, we learned a lot. I think one of my favorites was, if I can find it, was about, here we go, the ancient... I read this card to my daughter and I said, the ancient Egyptians used picture words called what? And she looked at me and goes, emojis? And I have to say that was probably like my favorite. I actually went and posted that on my Facebook because it just cracked me up. And she was like, no, she's like, it's that, start like, hi, something, Hyro, and she knew it, but she was just being silly when she said emojis. So that has been our history with the good and the beautiful. That's kind of just a little rundown, flip through. It covers so many different topics and so many different subjects. And when you go into the year 2, it kind of carries on where you left off, because it goes into, you have ancient history, you have Middle Age and the Renaissance, and then you go into the French War through the Revolutionary War, the Victorian era, the history of flight, and the Cold War. So that's covering quite a bit of history. Obviously, it can't cover it all. So that's why when you go into years, 2 and 3, you get a little more in depth, a little more stories, and it carries on and it kind of builds on what you already learned. So that is a little rundown of the good and the beautiful history curriculum. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, make sure you subscribe. So if you want to see us actually walk through a lesson, we can do that and share that with you. Or if you want to see any of the other curriculum reviews that I have, like I said, I've done a bunch on the good and the beautiful. They just now are introducing a math program, so I haven't reviewed any of that because it's too young for my kids. I might try getting the year 1 for my son, but we're really enjoying the math living lessons, something like that. I can't think of it, but I did a review on that one as well in the curriculum list. So if you guys are interested in any of those, make sure you subscribe and you check out that playlist. And I hope you guys join us for a lot more homeschooling tips and ideas. We're going to be talking about our homeschool schedules, how we do it, why we do it, some thoughts to think about, some pros and cons to, co-ops, different topics. So make sure you subscribe so you can learn more about our homeschool journey and what we have found to work for us, and share some of our tips and ideas. So hopefully help you guys out in your homeschool journey. So thanks again for watching. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye.
Jesus, wake me from my sleep. Father,